not everyone deserves your help. It may sound harsh, even unkind, but the truth is undeniable. There are people in this world who do not seek growth, who reject wisdom, and who drain the energy of those who try to lift them. Stoicism, the philosophy of reason and virtue, teaches that a wise man does not waste his strength on futile causes. Helping others is a noble act, but only when that help serves a purpose. Imagine a man drowning, but instead of swimming toward safety, he pulls his rescuer down with him. This is the nature of some individuals. No matter how much you give, they will not rise. They will only pull you under. The Stoics believed in living according to reason, and reason tells us that some people are beyond saving, not because they are unworthy, but because they have chosen blindness over wisdom, vice over virtue, and chaos over order. Who are these people? What types of individuals should you avoid helping at all costs? What does Stoic wisdom say about the art of knowing when to walk away? In this lesson, we uncover 7 types of people you must not help, not out of cruelty, but out of wisdom. Point 1. Logos and nature's order. Why Stoics believe wisdom should be reserved for those who seek it. Imagine a wise old teacher sitting by the sea observing the waves crash against the shore. A young man approaches him and asks, "Master, teach me wisdom." The teacher smiles, leads him to the water, and suddenly holds his head beneath the surface. The young man thrashes, desperate for air, until the teacher finally releases him. Gasping, the student demands, "Why did you do that?" The teacher replies, "When you crave wisdom as much as you craved air, then you will be ready." This story, though dramatic, reflects a core Stoic belief. Wisdom is not something to be imposed on others. It must be sought. It must be desired, just as we desire air to breathe. The Stoic view of wisdom, a treasure for the worthy. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, warned against giving wisdom to those who do not seek it. He said, "Only the educated are free." What did he mean? True freedom, according to Stoicism, is freedom from ignorance, passion, and self-inflicted suffering. But this freedom is not given. It is earned. It is the result of discipline, reason, and an unquenchable thirst for understanding. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, echoed this when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." A Stoic does not force wisdom upon the unwilling, nor does he waste time debating with those who have no interest in truth. The path of wisdom is for those who choose to walk it. The Logos, the natural order of wisdom. In Stoicism, Logos is the rational order that governs the universe. Everything that happens, every event, every consequence, is part of this grand, structured reality. Those who align with Logos live wisely. Those who resist it suffer needlessly. Now consider this. If wisdom is part of nature's order, then just as a tree cannot be forced to bear fruit before its time, a mind cannot be enlightened before it is ready. The Stoics taught that there is a season for learning, and some people, no matter how much you try, are simply not in that season. You cannot plant a seed in barren soil and expect it to grow. Likewise, you cannot pour wisdom into a closed mind and expect transformation. Modern application: the cost of teaching the unwilling. Think about your own life. How many times have you tried to help someone who refused to change? A friend stuck in self-destructive habits. A family member who complains but never acts. A colleague who resents advice, even when it's for their own good. Helping the unwilling is like trying to fill a broken cup. It drains you and nothing is gained. The Stoics believe that wisdom is sacred. To give it away to those who neither value nor seek it is not an act of kindness. It is an act of waste. The wise man does not impose knowledge but waits for the student to arrive. When to walk away. This does not mean we should be indifferent. Stoicism is not about cold detachment but practical discernment. Ask yourself, does this person genuinely want to learn? Or are they resisting change? Are they open to reason? Or do they argue only to defend their ignorance? Am I helping or am I enabling? If wisdom is a door, it must be opened from the inside. No amount of pushing will open a locked mind. Understanding Logos and wisdom's natural order teaches us when to help and when to step back. But not all who reject wisdom do so out of ignorance. Some reject it because they thrive in chaos, manipulation, or self-pity. These are the ones who drain us, deceive us, and keep us trapped in cycles of endless giving. So who are they? And why must we be cautious of them? That's what we uncover next. The first of the 7 types of people you must not help. 2. Virtue and rational judgment, the role of discernment in helping others. There was once a king who prided himself on his generosity. Whenever someone in his kingdom needed help, he gave freely gold to the poor, favors to the dishonest, power to the undeserving. His trusted advisor, a man of wisdom, warned him, "Majesty, generosity without judgment is not virtue, it is waste." The king ignored him. He continued to give, believing kindness alone made him righteous. But soon his people took advantage of his nature. Thieves became rich, the lazy became powerful, and the truly needy were forgotten. His kindness, without wisdom, led to ruin. The advisor's final words before leaving the kingdom were simple. To help without discernment is to destroy both the giver and the receiver. What the Stoics teach about helping others. Stoicism teaches that virtue is the highest good. But virtue is not blind kindness, it is wisdom in action. True virtue requires rational judgment, the ability to discern when, how, and whom to help. Seneca warned against reckless generosity, saying, "A benefit that is poorly placed is lost." This means that when we help those who do not deserve or appreciate it, we waste our energy, and worse, we encourage vice. A Stoic must not act based on emotions alone, but through reason and discernment. The balance of compassion and rationality. Many believe that helping others is always virtuous, but Stoicism challenges this. Should we help someone who refuses to help themselves? Should we support those who only take but never give? Should we sacrifice our well-being for those who manipulate us? The Stoics answer with a firm no. Helping without wisdom is enabling, not virtue. Helping someone who deserves help, who seeks growth, who genuinely struggles, that is virtue. But helping someone who refuses change, who uses others, or who exploits kindness, that is foolishness. Modern application. When helping becomes harmful, think about a friend who constantly makes bad decisions. No matter how much you advise them, they ignore you until they need help again. You give, they take, and the cycle continues. Or consider a family member who manipulates your kindness, playing the victim, never taking responsibility. If you keep helping them, are you truly being virtuous? This is why rational judgment is crucial. Helping the wrong people doesn't just drain you, it strengthens their weaknesses. How to practice discernment in helping others. Observe actions, not just words. Stoics believe character is revealed in deeds, not promises. Does this person show a genuine desire to improve? Set boundaries. Even the most virtuous man has limits. Helping at your own expense is not Stoic. It is self-destruction. Ask, am I helping or enabling? True help empowers. False help weakens. If your aid encourages laziness, dependency, or manipulation, it is not virtue, it is folly. Embrace indifference to opinions. Many will call you selfish when you refuse to be used. A Stoic does not seek approval, only alignment with reason. Understanding virtue and rational judgment protects us from the illusion that kindness alone is wisdom. But some people are not just undeserving of help, they are harmful. They deceive, they manipulate, and they take advantage of those who give without discernment. Who are they? And how can you recognize them before it's too late? The next lesson reveals the first of the 7 types of people you must not help. 3. Moral responsibility. The fine line between kindness and enabling. A man once saw a young boy playing by the riverbank. Suddenly, the boy noticed a scorpion struggling in the water. Moved by kindness, he reached in to save it. But as soon as he touched it, the scorpion stung him. The boy recoiled in pain, but he didn't give up. Again he reached in, and again he was stung. An old man watching nearby called out, "Why do you keep trying to save something that only harms you?" The boy, now in tears, replied, "Because it is in my nature to help." The old man nodded and said, "And it is in its nature to sting." Kindness is noble, but wisdom is survival. The Stoic perspective, kindness with judgment. The Stoics believed in living virtuously, and part of virtue is kindness. But kindness without wisdom is not virtue, it is self-destruction. There is a fine line between helping and enabling, between offering aid and becoming a tool for another's weaknesses. Seneca once wrote, "He who gives to those who do not deserve takes away from those who do." This is the hard truth many struggle to accept. Helping someone who refuses to help themselves is not kindness. It is a disservice. Worse, it keeps them trapped in their self-inflicted suffering. The difference between helping and enabling. Kindness uplifts. Enabling weakens. The difference? Who benefits? Helping empowers others to become stronger, more independent, and more resilient. Enabling allows others to remain weak, dependent, and avoid responsibility. Consider a friend who constantly makes reckless decisions. Every time they fall, they turn to you for help. You give, they take. You guide, they ignore. You fix, they break again. At what point does your kindness stop being helpful and start being harmful? Modern application: the trap of endless giving. Many people believe it is their moral responsibility to always be there for others, but is it? Imagine someone drowning. If they fight against your help, they will pull you under. If they refuse to swim, should you drown with them? True moral responsibility is not sacrificing yourself. It is knowing when to step back. The Stoics teach us that we are responsible for our own virtue, not for fixing others. The moment your kindness becomes a tool for another's irresponsibility, you are no longer helping, you are enabling. How to help without enabling? Observe repeated behavior. Are they learning from their mistakes or making the same ones again? Set limits. Helping someone once is kindness. Helping them endlessly is surrendering your own well-being. Recognize manipulation. Some people use guilt to trap you in their cycle. A Stoic is indifferent to emotional manipulation. Let natural consequences teach. Stoicism aligns with nature's order. If someone refuses wisdom, let reality be their teacher. Understanding moral responsibility helps us see the difference between kindness and weakness. But what happens when someone doesn't just drain you? They actively deceive, manipulate, or use you. This is where wisdom must become self-protection. The next lesson reveals the first of the 7 types of people you must not help, and why they are dangerous. 4. Toxic relationships. When helping others becomes self-destruction. A traveler once found a wounded serpent on the road. Moved by pity, he picked it up and carried it in his arms, nursing it back to health. Over time, the snake grew strong, and one day, without warning, it bit him. As the venom spread through his veins, the traveler gasped, "Why would you do this? I saved you." The serpent, now slithering away, replied, "You knew what I was when you picked me up." This is the nature of toxic relationships. People who drain you, hurt you, and betray your kindness, yet you continue to help them, believing they will change. The Stoic view on toxic people. The Stoics believed in helping others, but not at the cost of our own well-being. Epictetus warned, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Yet, many of us hold on to people who diminish us, draining our energy, twisting our kindness into weakness, and exploiting our loyalty. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself daily, "You will meet people who are selfish, deceitful, and ungrateful. Do not be surprised by this, but do not let them drag you down." In other words, recognize toxic people for who they are, and walk away when necessary. The cycle of self-destruction. Helping others should be an act of virtue, not self-destruction. But in toxic relationships, helping becomes a prison, a never-ending cycle of giving, you offer help, support, love. Taking, they take but never give back. Excusing, you justify their actions hoping they will change. Draining, you feel exhausted, used, but too entangled to leave. This is not kindness, it is enslavement. Signs you are helping the wrong people. They always need saving but never change. They take but never give. They guilt trip you into staying. They sabotage your peace, success, or well-being. You feel exhausted, but they feel entitled to your help. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." The process is mutual. For men learn while they teach. If a relationship only drains you, if your kindness is repaid with manipulation, it is not Stoic to endure it. It is Stoic to leave. Modern application: knowing when to walk away. Imagine trying to lift someone drowning. If they refuse to swim, they will pull you under. Helping someone who refuses to change does not make you noble, it makes you their captive. A Stoic helps the deserving, those willing to grow, to improve. But if someone is toxic, refusing to change, or harming you in the process, the right choice is to let them go. How to escape toxic relationships. Accept who they are. Do not fall for their potential. People reveal themselves through actions, not promises. Detach without emotion. Do not let guilt, fear, or obligation trap you. A Stoic is indifferent to manipulation. Prioritize your inner peace. You are responsible for your own tranquility. Letting go of toxicity is an act of self-respect. Recognize that leaving is strength. Some believe that staying in suffering is a virtue. It is not. Leaving is wisdom, the transition to the next lesson. Now that we understand the danger of toxic relationships, we must take an even deeper look at one of the most dangerous types of people. Those who do not just take advantage of kindness, but deliberately manipulate and deceive. In the next lesson, we uncover the first of the 7 types of people you must not help. Those who mask their intentions behind deception. 5. The 7 Archetypes. A breakdown of the people who resist wisdom. A young seeker once traveled across the land in search of wisdom. He climbed mountains, crossed rivers, and endured hardships to find a legendary sage known for his vast knowledge. When he finally found the sage, he pleaded, "Teach me the secrets of wisdom." The sage handed him a heavy stone and said, "Carry this." Confused, the seeker obeyed. After hours of struggling under its weight, he cried, "This is useless. It burdens me but teaches me nothing." The sage nodded. So too is wisdom to those who are not ready to receive it. Some people do not seek wisdom. They reject it, resist it, or twist it to suit their desires. No amount of teaching can help them, just as no amount of carrying a stone will make it lighter. These people fall into 7 archetypes, each one trapped by their own flaws. Understanding them is key, not only to avoid wasting your energy, but to recognize them before they take advantage of you. 1. The arrogant, the man who thinks he knows everything. This person rejects wisdom because they believe they already possess it. They argue, they dismiss, they look down upon others. When you offer them insight, they scoff, "I already know that." Marcus Aurelius warned, "It is impossible to learn that which you think you already know." The arrogant does not seek truth, only validation of their superiority. Helping them is futile, because they are unwilling to listen. 2. The excuser, the one who always has an excuse. The excuser does not resist wisdom outright. Instead, they deflect responsibility with endless justifications. "I can't change because of my past. It's not my fault, it's society, my parents, my circumstances." Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." The excuser will never change, not because they can't, but because they refuse to accept that they must. 3. The indulgent, the slave to pleasure. The indulgent knows what is right but is enslaved by their desires. Pleasure, excess, distractions. Epictetus warned, "Freedom is the control of oneself." The one who is ruled by desires is a slave. The indulgent seeks comfort, not growth. Helping them is pointless because they choose indulgence over discipline. 4. The victim, the one who thrives on suffering. Some people do not want solutions. They want sympathy. They hold on to their suffering like a badge of honor, using it to manipulate, to gain attention, to justify their stagnation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But the victim resists this truth. They reject responsibility for their own healing, preferring to be pitied rather than empowered. 5. The manipulator, the one who twists the truth. This archetype pretends to seek wisdom, but only to use it for their advantage. They listen not to learn, but to deceive, to control, to exploit. Seneca warned, "Do not be deceived by those who use fine words but act with foul intentions." To give wisdom to the manipulator is to arm a thief with a key to your home. 6. The dependent, the one who clings to others. This person does not seek wisdom to improve, but to be carried. They expect others to solve their problems, to make decisions for them, to shoulder their burdens. Epictetus taught, "No one is free who is not master of himself." The dependent refuses self-sufficiency, making them a drain on those around them. 7. The cynic, the one who mocks all wisdom. The cynic does not just reject wisdom, they attack it. They mock virtue, they scoff at self-improvement. They find pleasure in tearing down those who try to grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no time arguing with fools, let them remain as they are." To engage with the cynic is to throw pearls before swine. They do not seek truth, they seek destruction. Now that we understand the 7 types of people who resist wisdom, a question remains. What happens when we refuse to walk away? When we ignore these warnings, we invite suffering, betrayal, and exhaustion into our lives. In the next lesson, we uncover the real cost of helping the wrong people and how to protect ourselves with Stoic wisdom. 6. Modern applications: how Stoic wisdom applies to everyday relationships. A young man once approached a wise elder and said, "I feel drained by the people around me. Some take from me without giving back. Others reject my advice yet return to me with the same problems. I want to help, but I am exhausted." The elder smiled and said, "Imagine you are a bridge over a river. Those who walk across with respect do so safely, reaching the other side. But some stomp and break the boards beneath them. Others stand in the middle, refusing to move forward or back, blocking your path. Would you allow them to remain there, damaging the bridge for others?" The young man shook his head. The elder continued, "Then why do you allow such people to remain in your life, weighing you down and preventing your own progress?" Stoic wisdom teaches us to be discerning, to help when it is wise, but to protect ourselves when it is necessary. Now let's explore how these ancient principles apply to modern relationships and how we can navigate them with clarity, strength, and wisdom. 1. The Stoic approach to boundaries. You cannot control others, only yourself. Epictetus said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." In relationships, this means you cannot change someone who does not want to change. You cannot force others to appreciate or respect you. You cannot carry someone who refuses to walk on their own. What you can control is your response, choosing who you engage with, how much energy you invest, and when to step away. Modern application: setting boundaries. With friends. If a friend always comes to you with problems but never listens to advice, stop offering it. With family. If a relative drains your energy with negativity, limit interactions instead of enduring endless complaints. At work. If a colleague manipulates or undermines you, respond with calm detachment rather than engaging in their drama. A Stoic does not cut people off out of anger, but they also do not endlessly endure what harms them. 2. Emotional detachment, choosing inner peace over drama. Indifference to insults, calm and chaos. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In relationships, people will insult you, disappoint you, misunderstand you. A Stoic does not react emotionally to every slight or demand. Modern application: practicing emotional detachment. When someone tries to provoke you, respond with silence. When someone gossips about you, remain unmoved. Truth speaks louder than defense. When someone betrays you, accept it as part of life and move on with dignity. Detachment does not mean coldness, it means preserving your peace by not allowing external chaos to disrupt your inner world. 3. Helping others, but only those who are ready. Do not pour water into a broken cup. Seneca warned, "He who gives to those who do not deserve takes away from those who do." Helping others is noble, but only if it leads to real change. If someone rejects wisdom, refuses growth, or drains your energy, helping them is not virtue, it is wastefulness. Modern application: knowing who to help. If a friend ignores advice but keeps complaining, stop offering guidance. If a coworker refuses to take responsibility, let them face the consequences. If a loved one uses guilt to manipulate you, recognize it and stand firm. A Stoic helps the willing, not the entitled. 4. Walking away, when to let go without guilt. Leave the table when respect is no longer served. Many people stay in toxic relationships out of guilt, obligation, or fear. The Stoics teach us that staying in a harmful relationship is not loyalty, it is self-betrayal. Epictetus reminds us, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Sometimes choosing your own growth will make others resent you. That is their burden, not yours. Modern application: knowing when to walk away from a draining friendship. If someone only takes, never gives, and refuses to grow, from a toxic relationship. If someone abuses, manipulates, or undermines you, from a destructive environment. If a workplace or group is filled with negativity, gossip, or unethical behavior. Leaving is not failure, it is wisdom. Final thought: the Stoics' choice in relationships. Every day you make a choice, to engage or to detach, to help or to step back. to stay or to walk away. Instead, they invest in relationships that foster growth, wisdom, and mutual respect. As Seneca said, associate with those who will make a better man of you. A Stoic is never afraid to walk alone. 7. The call to strength. Why letting go of certain people is an act of virtue. A warrior once carried a shield that had been passed down through generations. It had protected his ancestors in countless battles, but over time, it became cracked and heavy. One day, an old mentor watched as the warrior struggled under its weight and asked, "Why do you carry that which can no longer protect you?" The warrior hesitated. "Because it has always been with me." The mentor shook his head. A true warrior knows when to fight, but a wise one knows when to let go. Much like the warrior's shield, we often hold on to people who no longer serve our growth, out of loyalty, habit, or fear of change. But Stoicism teaches us that letting go is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of virtue. Why? Because true virtue demands strength, wisdom, and the ability to act in accordance with nature's order, even when it is painful. 1. The illusion of loyalty, when holding on becomes self-betrayal. What you allow you endorse. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What we tolerate in others we ultimately absorb into ourselves. If we remain surrounded by those who drain us, manipulate us, or hold us back, we become like them. If you keep toxic friendships out of loyalty, you betray your own peace. If you stay in an unhealthy relationship out of fear, you sacrifice your own growth. If you continue helping someone who refuses to change, you waste your energy on barren soil." A Stoic understands that loyalty is only valuable when it is mutual. To stay in a situation that stifles your progress is not virtue. It is weakness disguised as kindness. 2. Nature's order. Everything has its season. Not everyone is meant to walk the same path. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature's order, accepting change as an inevitable part of life. Epictetus taught, "Just as a leaf falls when its time has come, so too must we let go when the moment demands it." In relationships, this means understanding that some people are temporary lessons, not lifelong companions. Not everyone grows at the same pace or at all. Forcing someone to stay in your life can be just as damaging as forcing yourself to stay in theirs. Letting go is not a loss, it is an acceptance of life's natural flow. 3. Emotional detachment. Mastering the art of letting go. Do not allow attachments to rule you. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is emotional detachment, the ability to act with wisdom rather than be ruled by feelings. Seneca warned, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." This means, stop hoping that people will change when they have proven otherwise. Stop clinging to relationships that only bring suffering. Stop wasting time on those who do not reciprocate your efforts. A Stoic does not hate or resent those they walk away from. They simply accept that their time together has ended and move forward with peace. 4. Strength through solitude, choosing growth over comfort. Better to walk alone than lose yourself in the crowd. Many people fear letting go because they equate it with loneliness. But the Stoics taught that solitude is not emptiness, it is strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you let go of toxic, stagnant, or one-sided relationships, you make room for better connections. You learn self-reliance. You attract people who align with your values rather than those who drain them. A Stoic does not fear being alone. They fear losing themselves in the wrong company. 5. The virtue of letting go. A final reflection. To release is to rise. Letting go is not a sign of failure, but a mark of wisdom. It takes courage to walk away from what is familiar. It takes strength to remove what no longer serves you. Seneca said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. If a relationship does not uplift you, or if you cannot uplift the other person without sacrificing yourself, it is time to let go. Because true virtue is not found in endless endurance. It is found in the courage to move forward. And sometimes the greatest act of strength and wisdom is simply knowing when to walk away. Life is a constant cycle of growth and change, and the people we surround ourselves with shape that journey. The Stoics understood that letting go is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of virtue. When we free ourselves from relationships that drain, manipulate, or hinder our progress, we are not abandoning others. We are choosing wisdom, strength, and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This is your second chance. A chance to live with clarity, to protect your energy, to invest in relationships that uplift you, and to have the courage to walk away from what no longer serves your growth. So ask yourself, who in your life aligns with your highest self? Who drains your energy without contributing anything meaningful? And most importantly, are you brave enough to let go? Because at the end of the day, the strongest person is not the one who holds on the longest, but the one who knows when to walk away. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's the hardest relationship you've had to let go of, and how did it change you? Let's build a community of wisdom together. And if you want more Stoic insights on life, resilience, and personal growth, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay strong, stay wise, and remember, your time and energy are your most valuable assets. Use them well.